let's take these one by one. So the first one that came through to kind of start this whole avalanche, Mats Zuccarello gets a 2-year deal, $4.125 million per. How do we feel?
I mean, not surprised. And like realistically, when I look at it, I mean, we'll talk about the common complaints, what people are saying. Like, I think it's fine. Like, you stayed away from it's weird in my head. I don't know what it is. The difference between 2 and 3 years, for whatever reason, in my head is like 10 years. Like, I don't know what it is.
Especially that age, right?
Right, exactly. So, you look at it, and again, let's see. Last year, 67 points. Year before, 79 points. The year before, he was injured, 35 and 42. Like, if you're paying just over $4 million for 2 years, you know that, like, because he's playing with Kaprizov, he's going to get minimum 50, 60 points. I will happily pay that guy who's been in the league for 800 games at this point. He's proven that he can do it. Even when he's off, he still puts up 67 points last year. Like, I don't know why there was, maybe it's just the age thing and there is like the threat of injury. But at the same time, 2 years. Yep. For just over 4, was it 4.15 or something?
4.125.
Yeah.
To make the total of the 2 years, 825.
And it lines up right with Kaprizov's deal, of course.
Does that worry you?
So, no. I really think they wanted to avoid the 3rd year. I think they did.
Sure, no, I agree. But does him ending at the same time as Kaprizov, does that just make it like that much more comfortable for him to be like, yeah, see you guys?
I mean, like for Zuccarello, yes. Kaprizov, no, I don't think so. Because like I think Kaprizov's going to realize, like, and again, this is something that will come up as we look at the contract as a whole. I think Kaprizov, there's enough younger guys coming through the ranks that are legit players, like young guys that are going to be hitting the league. I think he'll still be. I think the Minnesota Wild aren't in this window where it's like the Bruins were to a lot of people, where it's like you need to win this year or next year, and then you're going to be terrible. That's just not the case with Minnesota.
It's actually the opposite. In 2 or 3 years, they have to win or Guerin's in trouble.
Right, exactly. So, like, to me, it totally, like, the timing makes sense, and he's not making $6 million. He's not making $5 million. He's not making $4.5 million. Like, he's literally making 4.125. The cap, supposedly, as the report came out today, this afternoon, to the Board of Governors meeting, that the cap is supposedly going to jump up more than $1 million as early as next year. So, like, I do think the cap is going to jump big time by the time that deal's up. And you're timing it where you've got this year and next year with a big dead money cap hits for Suter and Parise. And then you got the 1 year after that. So the last year of Zuccarello's deal is it's like 1.65 million or something between Suter and Parise. And then you're pretty much like 800K combined for, I think, two or 3 years. I think the timing, I think, is fine. Like, and again, if he does have major injury problems, I mean, I get, like, you get the throw him on IR, whatever. Like, it's not, to me, it's not really as, like, there's no risk. It's just people are going to be mad about, well, we want to have this guy like a Yurov or an Ugrin or Huzendinov in the top 6, or, whoever else is vying for time, like Beckman, whoever. But at the same time, like, who's going to say that in 2 years they're going to be ready to be top line players already, play with Kaprizov, whatever. Sure. So I think, to me, like, it makes sense. It makes 2 years, just over $4 million, caps going up. You got a lot of young guys that now you're not, like, also, let's say Ogren, Yurov, who, they all do come over next year. They're ready to play in the NHL or whatever. Spots will be limited, obviously. But it's not like they're going to be immediately ready for top 6 roles on a team that's contending for Stanley Cups. So you're still buying time. And so I think the time makes sense. I think the contract for Zuccarello specifically makes more than enough sense for me that I'm very happy with it. And I couldn't care less about it being, like, line up exactly with Kaprizov, because I think
I'm just throwing that out as conjecture. Like, I don't actually.
People have to. I mean, like, it's a legit, like, storyline, obviously, because, like, it's like, of course it lines up exactly with his contract. There always has to be something that everyone's terrified about Minnesota. Like, there always has to be a doomsday scenario. It's like, we will never be happy. Like we'll
we've
never
learned
just
from history.
love it.
See, we have learned from history that there is
Exactly.
always
Well, it's
some
reasonable.
kind of
I'm not
lingering
saying
doomsday. So
I'm not saying it's completely unreasonable. I'm just saying like it's just like it's funny. Just be like, oh great, that's what this means exactly. And I'm just like, I get that thinking.
like
That's how
doing
you
the
play
whole
it safe.
Aztec readings, like, okay, when will the world end?
Yeah.
Let's
well,
see.
I'll be ready.
Today is the 4th, -10. That puts us at -6. Then like doing all of this Aztec shit, and it's like, oh my god, the Wild implode in 3 years.
And when you tweet like this in 2023, you're sitting there like, I was ready for it. I'm not disappointed because I set myself up. And if it works out, where Kaprizov then re-signs a big deal, he sticks around, they're like winning cups or going to cup finals, whatever, you're like, well, great, like this is wonderful. So I totally get the thinking. And again, it's very funny that it's going to be the exact same year, but I would imagine the minute that they can start negotiating with Kaprizov about a new deal, they will be doing that. They're not going to be waiting unless they are somehow just complete dog shit.
But that right there, Z, because he's probably not going to be eager to immediately ink. The second it drags into that final year, everyone's in panic mode. Trade him, get a return while you can.
But also don't do it.
He's going to New York.
Okay, fine. Trade him so we don't get nothing, but also accept nothing less than 4 first-round picks. And Connor McDavid, 3-way trade.
Oof. And McDavid, okay. Conrad McDaddy.
Yeah, Conrad McStevenson.